I was asked to I was asked to speak on an investment which we've recently done. Um, we started the investment in 2018, and what it really is to identify where the next growth area is of private banking and wealth management. Um, a lot of that had to do with technological singularity. And for those of you who don't know what that means, um, it's in that point where humanity and artificial intelligence meet and AI surpasses humanity. And if you look at that, there have been some of the bigger funds which have actually already dwelt into that. Um, but I think that what has happened was it was very AGI focused, artificial general intelligence. So for those of you who have heard what AGI is about, it really is a very limited perspective because it's just data driven. The challenge really of private banking and wealth management is how they see succession moving in the 21st century. And to be able to really understand that, you need to look beyond AGI. And for us, it was an issue among um, our key partners, those who have um, partnered us, especially for our multifamily office. So I think in terms of that level of partnership, let's say, um, we want to be able to be assured that if ever we were to survive in the wealth management and private banking space, we would need to prove ourselves beyond what we see in AGI. And so I was asked to speak on this topic. I think we're very happy that all over the world we've been, recognized as being a leader in this. A lot of banks have actually, reached out to us to learn more. And we agreed to do this because it's a very critical issue to build bridges at this time, and be able to understand what could possibly happen beyond AGI. So let me start by asking um, these three critical questions that clients ask. Number one, how do I build wealth in the age of technological singularity? That's the first. Building wealth is different from what it was. And I think that most private banks or wealth management banks already face that issue. Um, and we really need to address that. How do I build wealth in the age of technological singularity? The second question is, how do I ensure my legacy footprint? Does it serve humanity as a whole? So, more and more clients are taking matters into their own hands. They ask very critical questions nowadays. They are not confused about what product to buy, what service to do. They now understand that whatever their philanthropic direction is, they want to be able to fulfill that. And I third question would be, who can I trust to handle my succession? So these three questions are critical among the many. Um, again, there's been so much happening um, the past few years, and this is just really a little bit of thought leadership, I guess. When we have an audience like this, and the audience are mostly banks, financial institutions. You have a lot of the big funds. It's great to be able to address uh, everyone and how we could get everyone to start moving in one direction, which is really for the benefit of humanity as a whole, right? Okay, so let me just show you what clients and people in general, what's on their mind. And maybe some of these are rejected by the thought leadership process because they think that either it's not true or it's going to die down. And this much I can tell you, it's not dying down, it's just gaining pace every day, every week. All these questions are being asked. And it does put at stake the industry itself. So let us take the first one. So there have been a lot of questions on currency circulation, um, and they're revealing itself. 8% of the world's currency is in physical form. 92% is digital. And there is also another statement which says that less than 1% of the world's wealthy control 70% of the world's wealth. So that is a very, very big question in the minds of clients and recipients, of course, which influence the client. Gone are the days that you can just manage money without substance. I think for those private banks which have already put philanthropic divisions or departments in banks, that was the right thing to do, because now it's evolving into the execution of that. And a lot of it is not just about what we read in the newspapers. So, okay, so the second one is um, a prediction that 9 to 5 jobs will be extinct by 2034 because of automation. The next one is Elon Musk about robotics, humanoids overtaking the population of um, the, the world itself. Okay, so let's go to the and I'll just run through very quickly just for you to be able to see what's on the minds of people. OpenAI has moved and transitioned from a nonprofit organization to a for-profit organization, which really changes a lot of things because they are a leader in AI and they want to just make money. There's a lot of repercussions to that, as opposed to it having humanity as the ultimate recipient. The second one is space mining, and space mining does create a lot of questions, especially if they bring the first chunk of a precious metal which backs our currency. Without scarcity, it would crush that precious metal. The next one is the monetary system itself, symbolizing the foundation of freedom. Mm. Next one, Visa is launching a platform for banks to issue fiat-backed tokens and stable coins and tokenized deposits. So the whole digital asset space is moving into payment systems in a very, very aggressive way. The next one is conservative banks like DBS in Singapore have launched also digital assets. Um, and AI, Singularity's prediction is by 2035, it exists and is working within our world. So a lot of this is um, is happening today. Now, this this talk is not about one area of private banking and wealth management. It is a holistic approach so that we understand past, present, and future, and how we are doing in terms of being able to address that. So here is the situation in private banking and wealth management today. Clients, number one, feel strongly against control, especially banks collapsing or under consolidation worldwide. Despite the coverage of banks collapsing in specific parts of the world, everyone is aware of it. Everyone's aware of it. There's no such thing as someone not aware of banks collapsing right now. And so the question is, if bankers knew what they were doing and they were experts in what they were doing, why is it collapsing? You do not collapse a major bank like Credit Suisse because you bought the wrong insurance, treasury bond, or um, any form of investments where you have managed risk. Banks like that collapse because of a massive withdrawal. And the question is how? And I'll stop there because I'm sure everyone can read in between the lines. The second situation is there is decentralization happening at a rapid pace worldwide. And people take decentralization for granted, but let me give you a very, very simple example. Africa has now taken a grip on its natural resources. They've pegged their natural resources to their currency officially, and now they have joined BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, that cluster. And there's a lot of these conspiracy theories left and right. It really doesn't matter. But we just have to understand that decentralization is happening, um, giving control over resources of especially emerging economies. Okay, so third, complex technologies overwhelm the systems but do not address key issues such as succession. So you have all of these so-called experts coming in. A lot are being proposed even to us, to support this and this and this, but none of them even understand the industry itself. The basics of which are relationship building, developing bridges, and being able to execute its legacy footprints. No one understands that, only a few do. The next one is that everything today is AGI focused, artificial general intelligence. And when you say that it's AGI focused, so it's very data driven, there is no one which can look beyond the horizon. And that is what we need to do, because every single wealth account right now wants to create an impact for humanity. How do you do that? So if this was a situation where your human capital was very, very, very narrow in terms of thought process, your days are numbered. The next one is the global tightening of regulations on fund monitoring and transfers. In emerging economies where most recipients are of the larger philanthropic projects, 90 up to 90% of the population of that country are unbanked. After 100 years, 90% of that population are unbanked, no bank accounts, which means that the wealth, which is supposed to move into the recipients category, can only achieve so much if these recipients don't have bank accounts. But why is that? It's because that is the true state of banking. It does not serve humanity as a whole. It serves a few. And so these are a part of the critical questions that we ask today. The next one, currency confusion within payment systems are happening. There are people, there are organizations which provide the confusion to justify simple payment systems done which are not stable. Next one, building wealth is getting bleak due to the controls. This is why you have non-banking channels doing better than banking channels nowadays. You have a Western Union, you have different types of payment gateways, including PayPal, which is actually doing, if you ask me, a better service to humanity than the traditional banks. And don't take it out on me. I'm just telling you facts, right? I'm just telling you facts. I'm sure you're present today to be able to hear a candid uh, perspective on this whole thing. The next one is philanthropy is also in check, limiting legacy footprints. So much more as a client, a wealth management or private banking client wants to create a legacy footprint, there are measures in place which cannot allow the movement of funds to these recipients. Next one, developed countries versus emerging economy perspectives differ. And it differs greatly in the blueprint as singularity control systems. So the perspective of Europe, US will be different from the perspectives of BRICS, emerging economies, and autonomous regions. There is no unity there. And if you think that being able to serve a few is the way to go for the future, you're gravely mistaken. Yeah, so these are things that are happening today. Right? Now, um, we had to dig deeper. We had a deep dive into an investment which we wanted to do, and I did tell the organizers, and I said, look, if it's about me speaking, I don't want to talk about something which is on concept stage. I would want to talk about something we are already doing, something that I think can impact. It may have its controversies, but that's better than not having any form of plan to be able to address this. So we were able to get involved with Project Checkmate. And Project Checkmate is it started as a digital assets bank, and then it's moving into a hybrid banking blueprint, which I think should be shared by all banks. um, it is currently already termed as the Bank of Humanity the past few years, but has been moving very slowly, very carefully, and being able to understand, excuse me, that um, AI is really moving into um, into this space in such a critical manner. Um, so, what did we see with this project? The first thing that we saw, and it's really really interesting because you just look and want to acquire a stake in a bank, but it doesn't provide you with how it can re-engineer or sustain itself for the future, right? Um, and this is something that I think needs to be shared at this moment in time so that there can be a deep understanding beyond AGI and how it can affect private banking and wealth management. So the first priority was we had to see whether identity protection would be in place. And we've improved so much in it the past few years that there is what we call avatar COC protocols, which is continuity of conscience protocols. We've garnered 10 million registered accounts, of which we have immersed and educated around half a million. Let's say out of the 10 million, around half a million users, and so we've really immersed them in the technological singularity space. So, having said that, um, it was not an easy road for us to be able to get people to understand that the industry is changing. It is changing so rapidly. And we were at grassroots level for ground up approach. But I think that it's gained pace because humanity in itself wants to find the right answers. So you'll be surprised that you don't need to spend too much on marketing and business development because the model replicates itself very successfully. People are interested in it. People want to understand how to do it. The second priority on the slide is we have garnered agreements with 7 to 10 autonomous regions, of which the first trade agreements are coming out to enable the appropriate government regulations and the robust conversions of building wealth. When we say robust conversions, it means that they are in between the current monetary system and the future monetary system. It is impossible for us to try to suppress what the people are interested in. Right? Even if you say that they are ultra high net worth clients, they are asking the right questions nowadays. So priority three, for those of you who understand what tokenization is, it enables the value of resources to reach the pockets of recipients directly. It is a multi-trillion industry moving into backing not only currencies really, but backing trade. Number four, um, taxation is being replaced by universal basic income. For those of you who think that UBI or universal basic income is communist, don't kid yourself. When you are in a world where subsidy is needed for the people because automation is running at 200 miles an hour, you need UBI for world peace. It has nothing to do with communism. Communism is giving them money so that they won't work anymore. UBI's definition straddles a subsidy. So if you can at least subsidize 20-30% of their living cost so that crime is at a low, then that is the right thing to do. Now taxation is slowly being replaced by UBI because you have ultra high net worth clients instead using these technologies that are available today to enable recipients to receive it directly in their pockets. Apparently, governments have to continually improve on the service of the people because so much as they want to put all the barriers north, south, east, west, if the people want to escape those barriers, they will escape those barriers. And AI will even help them escape those barriers. Okay, so priority five, the stock market, the money markets are being replaced by digital assets. And participation of humanity as a whole is present. The algorithms of these are evolving into much stable values and enable tandem arrangements so that currencies evolve from that. And for those who think that that's not happening, again, this is just really a candid perspective from our side. During COVID, that was a period of 3 to 4 years, despite scams happening, a total of 2 trillion moved into the digital asset space. And that is not an amount which is a joke, because you have privatizations happening after that. Um, you have even high value assets which which have delisted because the investors are moving into um, a different space. Okay, so let us let us also touch on that. And then priority six is, and this is huge. This is what will impact the private banking and wealth management industry with technological singularity happening. Priority six on the slide: legal claims enforcing succession protocols via AI will shake the industry. Let me give you a perfect example. For those who think that AGI is the challenge, that's primary school. Beyond AGI is the issue because you need to be able to foresee the repercussions of how AI corrects history. You've heard that right, corrects history. Because you can have a situation where you could have dormant accounts. Sounds familiar? Dormant accounts, and AI will enforce the claim on that dormant account whether you like it or not. It will claim back that dormant account or the account stolen from their family, let's say, or from their trust, and it will be returned to the rightful owners with interest. That will shake up a lot of things. I'm just telling you what is going to happen. We're, I guess we can say that we are lucky that we understand wealth management beyond the AGI, but we are not saying that we're experts. We're just saying that there are certain things that we can already see, and it is already something big because everything what family offices own, that is where the cash flow is for the different funds, unless you're a sovereign wealth fund. And so, if legal claims, which previously could have cost you $1 million, will only cost you $50, you can imagine the amount of claims going through your bank. So, I'll stop there. Okay. So, our last mile um, is being able to foresee a blueprint where we need to address not only government regulations, really, but banking regulations as a whole in a decentralized structure. Because if you're thinking that the future of private banking and wealth management is what it is today, you're gravely mistaken. The financial instruments alone will change. I'm not talking of insurance. I'm not just talking of bonds. Convertible notes are going on the blockchain already. Not just about digital assets, but it is really about any form of new technology which artificial intelligence could create on its own. Right. So the first thing in our last mile slide is that we are actually orchestrating, and that's the right word, we're orchestrating a fund where financial institution can have equal shares of it to access Project Checkmate. And this fund will comprise mostly of banks so that they can access a system which AI recognizes as a system for humanity itself, because the community reach on this system is massive. It's in 60 countries. The second one, Benefits to banks and financial institutions encompass all key points as we evolve in this era of technological singularity. It is deemed as your survival insurance. So if you participate in this, the benefits encompass all the key points to protect you. The third one, immersive and decentralized Web3 transactions. So let me let me give you a very short clip um, into what we mean by this. Okay, so just bear with me. Look at this very short video. Okay, this is a digital twin metaverse of our bank in an offshore financial center, which is accessible via a various marina developments which were expanding. When you enter, it is fully immersive using audio or augmented reality, virtual reality aspects. You are able now to make a transaction in a bank as if you were there, right? So let's say you have a Bank of America on the right, and you have, let's say, our bank over here in an offshore financial center, which is accessible on the metaverse. It will come to first to all commercial airlines which are flying with beyond a 6-hour radius. So when you are there, this this is not a website. You don't just transact for your credit card or your debit card. Um, you you can go into the bank, um, and that is how the bank can look like. Um, Inside, you can do a transaction on the ATM machine or the kiosk. You can approach a person, and they will be able to help you in your transaction. Again, this is fully immersive, as if you were there. It's This technology is actually even first gen. We are working on second, third gen technology, which enables metaverse transactions via for private banking and wealth management. Right. So you can see the kind of technology available today. And mind you, if there was an issue on taxation, the artificial intelligence moves the transaction once every 3 seconds cross border, which means by right, if you look at the internet law, there is no domicile for taxation. So that is why UBI comes into play, right? Okay, so let's go back to the slides. We have, we have more of that. I mean, it's a full immersive experience, all 800 acres of it. um, so moving into the next one, um, the inclusion of your client's legacy footprint in a community of advocates comprising of cultural, religious, and staunch advocates of humanity survival is a value add into whatever topic of conversation you want to do to get that client or maintain that client. Next one, underlying assets encompass natural resources of over 10 autonomous regions and expanding. So you have a direct link to what you call RWA place, so it's real world assets place. Um, Next one is succession protocols beyond AI is the real challenge, which I've mentioned. And uh, PBWM clients want to be part of history correcting itself as there is no choice. So what does that mean? I think we all know that whoever has built wealth has been through a certain process, which is not perfect. As AI corrects history, up to 80% of those accounts are subject to any form of legal claims via AI. That if you do not address what to sign, what to declare, what to be able to um, um, ensure that you protect the client with a history which may have some questionable past, they will have a problem. Again, you can see now what AI can do just for the private banking and wealth management industry. Okay, so that is the last mile. Now, um, I'm not gonna speak to too long because I believe that we have a Q&A session, if the technical aspects permit. But so the three parting questions I have is, number one, how do we prepare for a world not run by governments but by super intelligent AI? That is a fact. AI will run governments. AI will be able to seep into every single part of everyone's life. Why do you think that it's gaining so much funding right now? Number two, what will AI recognize to enable humanity to survive? There are a variety of case studies that needs to be addressed so that we are going to be assured of how we will survive. What will they recognize? Number three, what does it tell us today which we need to abide by? So there are a lot of things happening today that is in front of us, but we are not acting on it. We are thinking that it will just correct itself. We are always thinking that we can live for today. Not anymore. There is a tremendous shift in the monetary systems. There is a tremendous shift in wealth management and private banking. We need to be able to focus on what is important today so that we can prepare for the future. And we have 20 years or less. This is an open declaration of the real experts on how this is going to happen. And we see the amount of job losses already happening today. Um, our clients now want to be able to be inclusive on how to serve humanity for all of this. I do trust that we agree that private banking clients, the reason why they are wealthy as they are is because they understand transitions very well. So everyone, I guess, has to start, taking a deep dive into that. Right? Now, I will leave my my message to say that let's build bridges together. Um, this is a photograph which I'm very proud of, where we have very good people working with the Bank of Humanity and its programs. We've become a world leader in certain things, and we're proud of that. But there's just so much else to do. So let us build bridges together. Let us work together so that we can be assured of humanity's survival. Now, um, our family office can be found at the URL on the screen, and the operational case study is also there. So our family office, we have a foundation and we have a philanthropic fund structure, which has evolved from venture philanthropy. Really. So if there are those of you which agree with how we look at things, let us reach out to each other. So I think that that ends my talk, and I'd be happy to take any Q&A. I can't hear you, Sylvia, but you're on you're on messaging. So I think if there's anyone which would like to reach out, um, I I'd be happy to meet up. I'd be happy to make friends, and just really work together. Please visit our websites. I think that we have time to prepare. Um, and I think oh, thank you very much for the comments. As I say, everyone loved it. Well, thank you very much. It's really important that the banking prowess of the European Union work with platform like ours, which have opened the hearts and minds of the people in various parts of the world. Um, because we are in one footing when it says to really ask ourselves, what does it take to protect humanity in the 21st century? Private banking and wealth management is just the first industry. There are several more industries that we need to be able to address. So um, my I do apologize. I have a itchy throat, but Sylvia, yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for having me again. Um, happy to I'm happy to meet with anyone after this. So thank you very much. And thanks for the invite again, Sylvia. More power to Marcus Evans. I appreciate it. And bye bye, everyone.